All right, yes, people, welcome to Real Talk Football TV Premier League debate show. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Got Tobias and myself, Shaq. All right, debate this week, Tobias. Is Van Dijk past his best? For the last 18 months now, he ain't hit the heights how he was, say, 3 years ago. I know the injuries killed him. But the mistake yesterday against Newcastle, 2 years ago, Van Dijk puts on the afterburners, shepherds Isaac away.
Big arm comes out.
Yeah, just eases him to the side, nicks the ball, and Liverpool go back on a counter-attack. Is he past his best?
Unfortunately, you got to say it's looking that way. I don't think he'll ever get back to how he was. Obviously, age wasn't on his side when the injury happened. Pickford absolutely killed him. Such a Pickford challenge.
Did he even get sent off for that?
And since then, like when he first came back, he played the whole season. That was your quad season, so to speak, and it done well. But now it's catching up with him. I think that constant barrage of playing is now catching up with him. So yeah, unfortunately, but he's just adapting his style now, isn't it? That's what he's got to do, and AU's not going to allow him to that transition because But bro, you can't deny that. I wouldn't put him in the best in the Premier League just because of how many years he's done it for. If you know what I mean. I think that's the only thing. That's the only thing that kills him. But during his time, Van Dijk was on nonsense. No one could move to Van Dijk at all.
He had centre forwards shook.
Yeah, no one wanted to take him on at all.
No, 100%. I agree. I still think he's one of the best defenders in the league because I think defenders on a whole are quite average at best. But I don't think he's at the level he was 2018 when we won the Champions League. I remember one time when he had the ball, Son had the ball, and he's literally in on goal in the Champions League final. And he just turned on the afterburners and just like caught him and just shepherded him away. And it's like, Van Dijk's different. But I think the injury to Pickford has killed him. And he's never been the same. Still think he's up there with the best centre-halves in the Prem. If not still the best, because I don't think the Prem have any great centre-halves at the moment. But if you had to go, who's the top 4 best centre-halves in the Prem right now? Who are you picking?
He's still there, though.
So that's what I'm saying.
He's still there. He's definitely still there.
And that's what I'm saying. So
I'm looking at Van Dijk, Diaz, Varane, I think's got to be in there. And who are you giving the last one to? Saliba, I think everything looks promising for Saliba, so you can't deny him. Can you put him in straight away? I don't know. Is he that good, and has he been that good to put him in straight away in the top 4? But I can't believe that you've asked me such a simple question, and I can't even pick you out 4 centre halves.
Yeah.
Top centre half.
I was thinking about it. I think I've got Saliba in there. That's how poor the centre halves are. Not because Saliba's not a good player.
Yeah,
I just think that the poor centre half, especially in the Premier League, are quite average. So I'm quite sad. I've got Van Dijk, Diaz, Varane,
Botman,
Konate now.
You can argue with Botman, Konate,
Saliba, and Akanji from Man City. I think they're the best 5, really. I think Botman's got to do it again.
I think mad.
There you go.
I'm thinking about the centre halves, and I'm thinking, wow, yeah. Football's a mess.
I think football's crazy. I think that's why. I think that's why DMs are going for like 110, 112 million, because they've got to protect these centre halves, because these centre halves are bang average at best. 100%, they're bang average at best, and the DMs ain't the best either. So
yeah, but it's, you know why that is though. It's Pep's fault, man. It's Pep's fault. No one can defend. Because it's all about ball playing centre halves, isn't it? If you can't play with the football, then you can't play now. In theory. So back in the day, it wasn't like that. You defend first.
Do you think the rule changes have changed that as well?
There's always an argument for that, isn't it? But you can argue that from yesteryear, let alone Premier League years.
All right, 2000. All right, with Van Dijk, 2018 Van Dijk at his peak of his powers. Where do you rank him in the all-time Premier League best defenders? Where have you got him?
I've got him top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Mm-hmm. I got Rio at 1. Off the top, Rio at 1, Terry 2.
Sol Campbell
at 3. Company at 4. Van Dijk at 5. Vidic at 6.
So he had to fit that in. I would have put him with Ledley King.
Yeah, but did Ledley King? Monster, no, he was a beast. I think fit Ledley King. Fit Ledley King would have been top 3. But I'm talking about he had too many injuries, didn't play enough. Every time he played, he was amazing. But did he play at the highest level, Champions League and all of that? That's why I can't have him he's in my top 10. I can't have him in my top 5.
Gallas.
Yeah, Cavallo. There's quite a few, but
Desai.
Yeah, but I think Desai was at the end of his career. But I think if Van Dijk was going at the same pace he was in 2018, I would have had him in the top 3, maybe just behind Terry in 3rd. Because I just think as well, with Van Dijk, he didn't play against... What elite strikers did he actually play against? I'm trying to think. Didn't play against Aguero in his peak.
I always say that, though. But
he only had Harry Kane.
It's not his fault, though.
No, it's not. It's not. But the thing is, you can't... I'm thinking about what John Terry and Rio played, They're playing against Didier Drogba, Van Nistelrooy, Henry, Bergkamp. It's like, it's just a bit... the level of centre forwards. They had the centre forwards back in the late 90s, the mid 2000s. Strikers in abundance. I mean, even if you go back to the not even average, but playing against Les Ferdinand, Dubbin, them man, they're great in the air, elbows in your eyeball.
Darren Huckabee.
Oh, Huckabee, Rapino.
You didn't want to go to Coventry.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Cold Tuesday night, the pitch is terrible. No William backing into you, elbows stamping on your feet. It's just awful. Them type of man. And I don't think Van Dijk didn't come against the caliber of centre halves. But strikers. Same thing with Trent. What do you think Liverpool got to do with Trent? Because this is every week he's getting cooked now.
Yeah, but Trent's getting cooked because we know his defensive route is, and we know you haven't got defensive-minded midfielders. So you've gone from a position of having all defensive, really, or able to do the defensive side of things, midfielders, to midfielders that don't think that way. Their first thought is forward. So obviously he's going to bear brunt of that. And we're talking about Van Dijk in a bit of a decline and his form's been stuttering a bit. Without that backup, that doesn't help. So the mistake was out of character, really. Like, you don't expect Trent to not control the ball properly, regardless of whether it's on his left or not. But he got cooked by Gordon. But you know, Gordon's a scumbag of a player, and that was his day.
Tobias,
he does. Trent needs help, man.
Tobias, Trent's a big grown man. I'm tired of every week him getting cooked by dead wingers, average wingers at best. He's getting cooked all the time. Maybe it's a time where something's got to give. If he was doing what he was doing at Man City, and maybe he wouldn't happen because Man City control the game better than anybody on the planet, would Pep let this go on for a good year of just a fullback getting roasted? Because this feels like the Cancelo situation at Man City, and they got rid of him.
Cancelo, to be fair.
they got rid of him. And Cancelo was doing the same thing what Trent was doing, running games, but defensively was terrible. And I'm trying to think to myself, can Klopp go through this all the time? That you can't be getting this guy protected. Do you have to change his position? Do you have to change the formation to get him in there? Because it feels like at the moment, Trent doesn't have a position. He's just a great football player, but he doesn't have a true position where he can actually really dominate. Because right back, he's struggling. I don't know if he can play in midfield. I think with a double pivot, he has half a chance, but in a free, no chance. But he's a great footballer.
You've got to find a position for Trent, unfortunately. Like, simple. I've made my feelings clear about Trent a long time ago. Ability-wise, you can't deny him. Whether or not... And the frailties, I just said, man, the frailties are being exposed because of other reasons, isn't it? So it's working how he was doing, getting the best out of Trent. Is that enough? I don't know, because now you've got midfielders that can pass the ball. So now there's less of a need for Trent. You know what I mean? So where a lot of the focus used to be on Trent, it's not that way anymore. You're looking at Szoboszlai and McAllister, they're all capable of picking out pass. So they're all forward-thinking players. So you're not going to sell Trent. I can't see you selling Trent. He's one of your own.
No, he's a captain. He's a captain, future captain. But
he's a vice captain. You're not going to sell him. He's going to sort of demand to play. Now, I don't think that can be an argument, because if he doesn't, then he's definitely going to want to go.